The moment the news began to circulate, hearts around the world felt heavier. Whispers turned into prayers, prayers turned into tears, and soon one question echoed across churches, social media, and gospel communities everywhere. How do you say goodbye to a voice that taught millions how to worship? The homegoing service of Ron Kenoly was not just a funeral. It was a deeply emotional farewell, a sacred celebration of a life that reshaped praise and worship forever. From the very first moments, the atmosphere was filled with a powerful mix of sorrow, gratitude, and holy expectation, as people gathered knowing they were about to witness something unforgettable. As the day of the funeral arrived, the scene outside the venue immediately captured attention. A line of special luxury cars stood in quiet formation, polished to perfection, symbolizing honor, respect, and the immense legacy Ron Kenoly left behind. These were not displayed for show, but as a final gesture of dignity for a man who spent his life lifting others up through worship. The soft hum of engines, the slow movement of the convoy, and the silence of the crowd created a moment so heavy that many could barely hold back their tears. It felt like time itself had slowed down. Inside the service, emotions overflowed. Family members, close friends, fellow gospel artists, pastors, and fans from around the world filled every seat. Some clutched tissues, others held hands in prayer, while many simply stared ahead, lost in memories of how Ron Kenoly's songs once carried them through their darkest nights. His music had always been more than sound. It was comfort, strength, and faith wrapped in melody. And now, those same songs echoed through the hall, turning grief into worship. The opening moments of the homegoing service were especially powerful. As music softly played, the congregation was reminded that this was not a goodbye forever, but a celebration of a soul returning home. Yet, even with that assurance, the pain of loss was undeniable. Speakers took turns sharing personal stories, revealing sides of Ron Kenoly that the public rarely saw. A loving husband, a devoted father, a humble servant, and a man who never forgot where he came from. Each story added another layer to the legacy he leaves behind. What made this homegoing service stand out was the balance between sorrow and praise. Tears flowed freely, but so did worship. At moments, the entire congregation rose to their feet, singing along to the very songs Ron Kenoly once led with such passion. The sound was overwhelming, not just because of the music, but because of the unity in the room. It felt as if his spirit was present, gently reminding everyone that worship does not end with death. It continues in eternity. The luxury cars seen earlier became a talking point as well, especially as images spread online. Many viewed them as a symbol of how deeply respected Ron Kenoly was, not only as an artist, but as a spiritual leader. Others saw them as a reminder that honoring someone's life does not diminish humility, but rather highlights gratitude. The slow procession, escorted with care and reverence, marked the final earthly journey of a man whose songs traveled far beyond any road. As the service continued, messages poured in from around the world. Though not everyone could be physically present, their words were read aloud, filling the space with global love. Fans spoke of healing, hope, and moments when Ron Kenoly's music gave them the strength to keep going. Pastors spoke of his impact on modern worship, crediting him for opening doors and inspiring generations of worship leaders. Each tribute reinforced one truth: his influence was immeasurable. The most emotional moment came when the family spoke. Their voices trembled, yet their faith remained strong. They thanked the community for the prayers, the love, and the respect shown not just during the funeral, but throughout Ron Kenoly's life. In their words, there was pain, but also peace. A peace rooted in the belief that he had finished his race and received his reward. That moment alone brought many in the room to their knees. As the homegoing service drew closer to its end, the mood shifted gently from mourning to hope. The final song was not one of sadness, but of victory. Hands were lifted, eyes closed, and voices joined together in one last act of worship in his honor. It was a powerful reminder that Ron Kenoly's mission was always about pointing people toward God, even in his final moments of remembrance. When the service concluded and the luxury cars once again rolled forward, there was a sense of closure, but also continuation. Ron Kenoly may no longer be here in body, but his voice, his songs, and his message live on. Every note he sang, every lyric he wrote, and every heart he touched now stands as part of an eternal legacy. This was not just a funeral update. This was a testimony, a reminder that a life dedicated to faith, humility, and worship never truly ends. Ron Kenoly's homegoing service was a final earthly chapter, but his story continues to be sung in churches, homes, and hearts around the world. And as the world watches, one thing is clear: legends don't fade away, they ascend.